Hello, friend. Have you ever noticed something strange? Most of us already know what we should do. We know exercising is good for us. We know studying is important. We know scrolling for hours isn't helping us. We know discipline is better than waiting for motivation. We know all these things. Yet somehow, we still ignore them. So why do we do this? Why do we know the advice but fail to apply it? Let's talk about it. 1. Knowledge is not the same as action. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that knowledge automatically changes them. It doesn't. You can watch 100 videos about discipline. You can read 10 self-help books. You can know exactly what you need to do, but if you never take action, nothing changes. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with learning. There is nothing wrong with watching helpful videos or reading books. In fact, they can be incredibly useful. They give you direction. They show you the path. But knowledge only tells you where to go. Action is what actually moves you forward. Knowledge points at the road. Action walks the road. 2. Comfort is powerful. The reason we ignore advice isn't because we don't understand it. It's because following that advice is often uncomfortable. Let's be honest. Scrolling is easier than studying. Staying in bed is easier than exercising. Avoiding a difficult conversation is easier than having it. Our brains naturally prefer comfort because comfort feels safe. That's how we're wired. But here's the funny thing. The biggest growth often comes from discomfort. The things we avoid are often the things that help us the most. Real comfort isn't avoiding discomfort forever. Real comfort is becoming strong enough that discomfort doesn't control you anymore. 3. We wait until we feel ready. So many people say, I'll start when I feel motivated. I'll start when I'm more confident. I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow has a habit of never arriving. The truth is that most people don't become motivated before they start. They become motivated after they start. Action comes first. Confidence comes later. Results come even later. That's why you don't need to start perfectly. You don't need to study for 8 hours today. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Just start small. Once you consistently show up, you've already won half the battle. 4. We overconsume advice. This one is very common. Sometimes people become addicted to consuming self-improvement content. They watch video after video, read book after book, listen to podcast after podcast. Their brain starts feeling productive because they're learning so much. But learning and changing are not the same thing. Imagine a government creating hundreds of laws but never enforcing them. What would be the point? Advice only becomes valuable when it is applied. One piece of advice used is worth more than 100 pieces of advice ignored. 5. The real reason we ignore advice. Deep down, most good advice requires change, and change is uncomfortable. Once you know what you should do, excuses become harder to make. If you know you should study, then studying becomes your responsibility. If you know you should exercise, then exercising becomes your responsibility. If you know what needs to change, then eventually you have to face it. That's why some people stay in the learning phase forever. Learning feels safe. Applying feels scary. But the truth is that your life changes when you start doing, not when you keep learning. At the end of the day, maybe you don't need another piece of advice. Maybe you already know what you need to do. Maybe the next video, the next book, or the next motivational quote isn't the answer. Maybe the answer is finally applying what you've already learned. Because knowledge can show you the path, but only action can take you where you want to go. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.